Now, the boss of the world's top tobacco company that sells Marlboro cigarettes has accused some governments of science denial, which will prevent their societies from transitioning away from cigarettes. In a BBC interview, he also described the approach of anti-smoking campaign groups as illogical. The company, Philip Morris International, claims its mission is to unsmoke the world. Our business reporter David Waddell began by asking the CEO what were the barriers to that mission.
Well, on the positive side, actually, it's not a barrier. It's something which keeps us, motivated more and more into going these directions. Is the growing demand among the smokers to move into these products. On the negative side, you still have regulatory solutions which actually result that cigarette smoking or cigarette sales is being allowed, while the alternatives are not allowed. You have countries in the world like Turkey, India, Vietnam, and others who are okay us and others selling cigarettes, but they're not okay offering the smokers the alternative to the products.
In your recent quarterly report, you make an assumption that combustible cigarette use will rise by around 1% this year. And you've got a growing market share. Is that a tricky place for you to be presentationally?
No, I mean, the cigarette market is growing in the countries which are not allowing alternatives. And that's something which we've been predicting, by the way, that if we don't do anything about the smoking, X years from now, we'll have more smokers than we have today. And unfortunately, that prediction is becoming true. And we continue engaging with the governments to open the markets to alternatives. But the absence of alternative in many places in the world, smoking rates will go up.
You say your products are particularly for ex-smokers and those who are trying to quit. But if you only sold to those cohorts, the business would be on its way out. But investors don't see it that way, do they?
Well, there is more than 1 billion smokers in the world, right? So there is still a long way to go in order to address that problem. Obviously, we say that the nicotine is addictive, and it is, but you cannot understand or resolve the problem of addictions without understanding the benefit which the users of the substance are deriving. There's no point talking about the benefits if you have a product which creates so much harm. But if you have a nicotine in its individual form, in a separate form, there is a completely different picture. So I think investors also start seeing that as the opportunity which is in front of a PMI.
Some years ago, Mr. Olczak, you bought Vectura, a pharma brand, and you decided to sell that last year, apparently under a public backlash. If that was the right strategic decision to buy and deliver on that brand, why did you not stick it out?
We have been confronted with completely illogical type of an oppositions over Philip Morris. Our decision was actually that in a spirit of maintaining the capability of Vectura, liberate them from the ownership of Philip Morris, while still retaining our access to the certain capabilities which they can offer. If I have no right to go beyond nicotine, you have no right to promote the smoke-free products, then what I am left with cigarettes, so we go back to the square one. I don't think anybody wanted to achieve that status.
The World Health Organization says that tobacco kills up to half of its long-term users. Some surveys say more. Cancer research says if Philip Morris really wants people to stop smoking, they should stop making cigarettes. Fair?
So we should have that, more mature and logical conversations, because the fact that the Philip Morris will stop or not stopping cigarettes, nothing will happen. Okay, there is not a single country in the world which has banned cigarettes. But there are several markets in the world, countries in the world, which has banned the alternative to cigarettes. Can WHO finally explain me the logic of that?
The CEO of Philip Morris there, well, smoking is estimated to kill 8 million people a year worldwide, and the company acknowledges its smoke-free products are not risk-free. The UK campaign group ASH says PMI, that's Philip Morris, sells a uniquely lethal consumer product, and that its heated tobacco units are certainly likely to be more harmful than other nicotine alternatives such as vapes and nicotine pouches.